Well, it's Uncommon Fossil. I want to talk a little about Pokemon TCG Pocket. It's launching globally very soon, and want to consider what packet should you open first. If you've been paying attention to the game at all, you're probably aware that there's 3 types of packets to open. As like with regular Pokemon TCG cards, there's different arts, but within Pocket, it's not just the art on the package that's different, but actually what cards you can pull vary. There's a certain set of cards that are common to any pack, but then there are, I believe, 61 cards unique to a Charizard pack, only 61 cards unique to the Pikachu, and 61 cards exclusive to the Mewtwo EX. So you keep that in mind. If you want to certainly pull a Charizard, you have to open a Charizard pack. If you want to pull a Pikachu, you got to open the Pikachu pack. If you want to pull a Mewtwo, you open the Mewtwo pack. But there's a lot of other cards of basically all the different types in each pack. I think each pack is missing one type, something like that. It's a little odd. And then there are even a few trainers, some supporters that are exclusive to certain packs. So keep that in mind as you're trying to build decks. You're going to have to pay attention. I'll give a link to this website, which is very good. It is Pokemon Zone. They have a bunch of good Pocket information. Take a look at what's in each. If you're looking for a card, it'll tell you what pack it is in, and that's really important there. But also, and this is really what I want to focus on today, which is less obvious, the pack you choose to open will determine the starter deck or the beginner deck you get. And you're not going to know that that's the case until later on. Well, there's a couple things. So when you pick a pack, you're going to, depending what the pack is, the EX you're going to pull is set for each deck. So if you open a Charizard pack, you will pull an Executor EX first time. If you open a Pikachu pack, you will pull Arcanine EX first time guaranteed. And a Mewtwo pack, you will pull a Marowak EX first time. And each of these you'll want to add to your beginner or starter deck because it fits. And each of these is a stage 1, like Marowak, which evolves from Carbone. You're going to get 2 Carbones in the Mewtwo starter deck, but you're not going to get the Marowak. So you're going to want to add the Marowak in. You'll have to cut a card to decide about that. But that's how it is for each of these. Arcanine, you get the EX, which is a stage 1. You're going to get the 2 copies of the basic here. 2 copies of Growlithe here in your starter deck. And you're going to need to add in the Arcanine, and same thing with the Executor. So beyond that, so that's kind of the playable side of things, and that's really my focus. But I do want to point out also, it has the economy is actually incredibly complex. I'll just say that briefly, and I'll be looking at that later on. But I definitely want to play the game because I'm not playing on a VPN or whatever, or I guess you don't need a VPN, but you still have to tell Google you're in New Zealand and kind of set that up. So I didn't want to do that. I haven't played it yet. I do care about the economy. I'll be messing around with that and talking about that for sure, because the economy's got, like, I think 12, 13 different currencies in game that you get through different ways and get you different things. It's incredibly complicated. I definitely want to make sense of that and see how viable it is to a budget or free-to-play person, because I'm not sure about that. So looking forward to that, to finding out. But I lost my track. So anyway, so part of the economy is the Wonder Picks. So the game, during the introductory stuff, you do it first. You'll have you do a Wonder Pick, and if you first pack was a Charizard pack, your Wonder Pick will be a full art Charmander. You'll get a full art Squirtle for the Pikachu pack and a full art Bulbasaur for the Mewtwo pack. And those are nice. They're full arts. They're the 1-star full arts, and it goes up to 4 stars with that. So they're the lower rarity of the full arts, but that's fun. That's nice. But none of these cards are cards you actually want to put in your starter deck, because they just don't. The energy is different and it has no synergy with it. So that's a collector thing. The Wonder Pick in this case that you're getting, it's not really a playable thing. So that your starter deck plus the Arcanine is what you want to focus on. So again, they each have some value. What I will point out is there is a tier list down Pokemon Zone, and within that you get the Marowak deck with the Mewtwo deck. That is they list as the higher tier, so that's good. The Executor, which is what you get from the Charizard deck, they list as middle tier, and the other one was the Arcanine deck isn't listed at all in the tiers. So in terms of the tier list, Marowak is the best deck that is in the Mewtwo pack. The Mewtwo one, I think, is generally considered the best starter, and I definitely recommend that to get first. and then you'll want to kind of probably focus on some Mewtwo packs after that to fill out the deck. If you click on the Marowak, the Marowak on the tier list, it gives you an option of 3 different ways to build the deck. Looking at the bottom one, the Marowak Sandslash variant is very budget friendly because you're getting the 2 Cabones, you get 1 Marowak EX, of course, you need to get 1 more Marowak EX, and then it's a 2 Sandshrew and 2 Sandslash, and within that starter deck, you are getting 2 Sandshrews and 1 Sandslash, so you're well on the way there. Pokeball, you are getting 2 copies of that, and you're getting 2 copies of Professor's Research there. The other items you can't pull the items from packs. It's a little weird. I get them in the shop. I think through shop tickets. I got to figure out the currencies for all that. They're pretty accessible. And the supporters, like the Giovanni, you can only get from a Mewtwo pack, which is actually what we're opening, so that's great. But then Sabrina, you can only get that from the Charizard pack. So depending, there is a way to purchase it. But if you, at some point, you might want to start opening Charizard packs once you have the cards you need from the Mewtwo packs to pull the Sabrina. Sabrina's the one gusting card. It's probably the most important of the supporters in the format. It's like Boss, except your opponent gets to choose. So you'll quickly learn the supporters are incredibly nerfed from what you're used to in Pokemon TCG. Sabrina, which is like Boss, except your opponent gets to choose what they're switching, so that's a huge difference there. Impressive Research, we know what it does in regular TCG. Discard your hand, draw 7. Here you draw 2 cards, so it's worse than like the Hop, the draw +3 cards. So it's incredibly nerfed. The trainers, it's just a slower game. The games are quicker because I think the turns go fast, but as I get to play the game, we'll talk about that for sure. But a lot of turns, the turns aren't as powerful, is what I'll say. There's also no deck searching. I'll just point that out too. Like Pokeball, which is a real staple card, you put a random basic card from your deck into your hand. So rather than, you don't get to choose, so it definitely nerfs it for sure, but also speeds the game up too. So that's part of, as they're trying to find the balance for gameplay with this. I think the reports are pretty good, but we'll see how things go as the game develops. So anyways, you're kind of, I would say, open the Mewtwo pack. It's got probably the strongest of the starter decks, and it can be upgraded on a very budget-friendly version. Look at the Sandslash version. It doesn't cost too much. One thing to point out, if you're taking a look at the starter page deck on Pokemon Zone, the colors Pokemon and the trainers are identical in all 3 packs, except Pokemon Zone doesn't quite have things correct because the numbers vary, but there are, I believe, 6 colorless Pokemon and 4 trainers common to all of the packs. You have to look through all 3 listings to get the full set. But you will get 2 Pokeballs, 2 Professor Research, and then you will get 2 Rattata, 1 Raticate, a Pidgey, a Jigglypuff, and Farfetch. Farfetch is very good, so getting that is very nice. You're going to probably want to get a second one of that. Also, for these things, some of them you can hover with a card. It tells you what packs it come in. Like, so Farfetch, you can get open in any pack. It's a really good Pokemon to get and probably slap into most of your decks. It's a colorless Pokemon, 60 HP, which isn't bad, and it does 40 damage for 1 energy. So really nice there. The Sandslash deck, though, is just a fighting-only deck, but certainly early on, before you pull your extra cards, you don't have like the second Marowak, you don't have the second Sandslash. I imagine you're going to you're going to keep that one far-fetched in the deck. So that's the initial thing. What pack do you open first? You have the 3 choices. You have Charizard, you have Pikachu, and you have Mewtwo. I strongly suggest opening the Mewtwo because it's going to give you access to the best starter deck. And based upon what I've heard from others, I haven't played it myself yet, it's a good deck for completing the challenges as well, because you're going to have a series, kind of the tutorial for gameplay is a series of missions, I think is what it's called, and you're going to have to play against a preset list of decks, and the fighting Marowak deck is probably best suited for that. And like I said, it is the best deck on the tier list as well. So start off, do yourself a favor, get the Mewtwo pack, and I think that is the best start to Pokemon TCG Pocket. Looking forward to it launching globally and starting to play the game and learn about it. And I'll still do Pokemon regular TCG as well as Pocket in the future. So kind of, I'll see how things go, what I'm enjoying, and certainly let me know your comments below. Are you looking forward to Pocket, and what type of content you're looking for as well? Take care and play some Pokemon.